Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? We're about to do the predictions and breakdown for UFC 309, John Bones Jones versus Stipe Miocic, which is coming to you on the 16th of November, 2024 at Madison Square Garden. We're going to be starting with the prelims, ending with the main event. Let's just get started right away. We're going to start with the prelim opener of Veronica Hardy versus Eduarda Moura, and we're going Veronica Hardy. She's just continuously improving. I've seen her grappling improve. Her striking has improved significantly since her last time around against Jamie Lynn Horth, and the fight against JJ Aldrich, she beat the hell out of her. And Eduarda Moura losing to Denise Gomes due to the striking. She looked like she couldn't handle her on the feet. She looked like as the fight went later on, her gas tank was starting to have a big problem, seeing as most of her fights, she's able to get the fight finished inside those 3 rounds. And Eduarda is going to have a big problem with Veronica Hardy, who's really well rounded in all aspects of MMA. Her grappling's very decent. Her striking's very decent. I don't think Eduarda Moura is going to get a finish here. And I think if it goes longer, the longer the fight goes, the better it might be for the better it will be for Veronica Hardy. I think this most likely what's going to happen is Eduarda Moura is going to win the first round, and rounds 2 and 3, Veronica Hardy's going to come out and start your game plan completely. Hardy's been, again, improving every single time out. After her one loss to Bay Malecki or whatever the fuck her name is. Terrible loss, seeing as this girl has no business being in the UFC whatsoever. She came back after 3 years, a different fighter. She's improved. She's more significant than she's ever been. And I think this is the time where she's going to start making her title run at 125. Eduarda Moura missing her last fight weigh-in by half a pound. Most likely going to miss weight this time, round 2. But she is moving up, I believe, to 125. So hopefully these problems go away and we're not going to be having another problem at flyweight instead of strawweight. All right, we're going to move on next in the prelims. We have Oban Elliott versus Basile Hafez. We're going Oban Elliott. I just believe both guys very good wrestlers. Hafez being able to out-grapple Mickey Gall, taking Jack Della Maddalena to a split decision. Arguable, seeing as in the second round, I believe Basile didn't do enough to take that second round from Jack Della Maddalena. He kind of just laid on top of him for 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. Didn't really land any damage. And Sal D'Amato, again, with his cracked glasses and his half hangover, was unable to see that Basile did not win that round. They gave a split decision. Jack Della did win the rightful decision, but he was able to take a round off Jack, and that is something to take into account. He did lose to Mickey Gall, was just outpaced, outgrappled, and Oban Elliott's a better grappler, I think, than fucking Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall's absolutely horrendous. He makes me want to fucking throw up. And, you know, it is what it is. This is just a terrible fight. I'm not sure why the odds are so close. Oban Elliott's pretty decent, being able to out-grapple Preston Parsons every single time. Preston was making some significant mistakes inside the takedowns where he could have just looked through the back of Oban Elliott and pushed through, and he would have got the takedowns, but instead, he was making really easy wrestling mistakes and allowing Oban Elliott to spread his hips and sprawl really wide, which is like crazy, seeing as he would throw a wild strike. Preston would get right underneath his ass, get that double leg grip, and then just lose it. And it didn't make any sense to me. But you see inside the third round of that fight, Oban gets taken down by Preston, able to get an armbar, get out of it, or get an armbar on Preston in order to get out of the bad position and slowly make his way up to the feet. So you're seeing him out-grappling a pure grappler, being able to out-grapple Val Woodburn, who has striking that's pitiful, half-decent clinch work. Like Kaik Brito, he was able to take out in the Contender Series. It's just Oban Elliott has better, other than the Jack Della Maddalena fight, Basile is not even close in terms of skill level that he's fought. So this is going to be an interesting fight for both gentlemen. Oban Elliott's 26 years of age. He's improving faster. He's at the next level of MMA, and I don't think Hafez is on his level. I think he's going to lose probably a decision. I think it's going to go long 3 rounds. And Basile's going to be in for a tough night. Next on the prelims, Mickey Gall versus Ramiz Brahima. This is a terrible fight. This is a really terrible fight. I don't want to pick Mickey Gall because he's just fucking awful. So I guess I'm going to go Ramiz. I don't know who Ramiz is. I guess I watched him get his ass whipped by Themba Gorimbo, which I definitely did bet this fight. Yeah, because it was close. I did bet that fight. I don't remember much about this guy, man. Honestly, let's see. Max Griffin, elbow ear injury. I don't remember that. Court McGee loss. Oh, maybe I do remember this. Court McGee was able to get a decision over him. That was after, right before the Jeremiah Wells fight. I think I do remember that. Wait, isn't he a grappler? I think this is just going to be a grappling fight, right? This is just going to be a pure grappling fight. Ramirez is probably going to choke him out. I don't think Mickey Gall's really that good, man. He has a lot of brain damage. He's 7-6. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes 7-7, gets retired. I don't think he's going to win this fight. I think Ramirez is probably just here to stay. I mean, he's going 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, and he just has his loss. He's going to get a win. Ramiz Brahima by submission is my official prediction. Rear naked choke. Mickey Gall's going out inside the second round. And we don't have to see his ugly fucking face inside the UFC ever again. No disrespect, Mickey. You're better than I ever was. You got in the UFC. I'd never fucking make it. I bet you I wouldn't even win in a white belt tournament. I wouldn't even win one fight. But you're still fucking terrible and you're garbage. And I hate you. And I hate watching you fight. And you're not fun to watch anymore. Please leave the UFC. Next up, is Marcin Tybura versus Jonata Denis. We're going Jonata Denis. Marcin Tybura, very good grappling. Probably going to take down Denis in the first round. And if he doesn't, he's fucked. But as the fight goes longer, Denis's kickboxing is just going to get into a flow state. Same thing happened inside of his UFC debut. Fought Austin Lane for his UFC debut. Austin Lane was able to take him down inside the first round. Had a similar fight to Alex Pereira against Prachnio, where he gets up to his feet and inside the second round starts beating the shit out of him because the grappling gassed him out. And Marcin Tybura probably not going to experience the same type of gassing out, seeing as he has a lot of his fights going to a decision. He has like 25% of his wins by decision, or 30%. He has a couple knockouts inside the second and third round, all submissions inside the first round. So you can understand that he may have a little bit longer of a gas tank. But Jonata Denis is a very well-endowed kickboxer. He will be here to be beating the shit out of Tybura. And Tybura being 39 years of age, he is slowing down rapidly. Tai Tuivasa last year was able to fucking crack him with a big shot, had him really hurt last August, and got taken down. But Jonata Denis is more calculated than a Tai Tuivasa. He's more powerful than Tai Tuivasa, and he's not going to be just swinging from the fucking hip, hoping to hit every single home run. So I got Jonata Denis by KO inside the second or third round. A lot of people are going to be taking Tybura by decision or submission, seeing as he has the larger grappling threat, and usually that does do well inside the UFC. But you're fighting in heavyweight, where as long as a guy has a decent fucking sprawl and a decent takedown defense, you're never taking him down. You're too big to hold him down. And if he gets back up, it's becomes increasingly more difficult every single time. So usually the smaller guys, you see them like being able to chain wrestle. I've never seen a heavyweight being able to chain wrestle unless you're Jailton Almeida. So, and I don't think Marcin Tybura is that guy. I got Jonata Denis. That's all I got to say about that. Next on prelims, Jim A10 Miller versus Damon the Leech Jackson. I've been sitting on this for a while, man. I really want to pick Damon Jackson, but there's a lingering thought in my head that Jim comes out and fucking beats the shit out of him. Now, Bobby Green fight in the first round, he was popping Green with good clean shots. Green started outboxing him just because he's faster, more slick. Jim Miller is 41 years of age. He will be 42 next year. That's where it gets tough. Damon Jackson, 36, still looking decent, really good wrestler, really good takedowns, really good submission threat, and you're fighting Jim Miller, who has decent takedown defense, but if he gets to the ground, he's kind of fucked. He doesn't have the type of explosiveness that he used to have. I don't think he's going to be getting out of many takedowns after the second and third round. I think Jim's going to need to knock out Damon Jackson inside the first round. Under 1.5 looks good to me, but I think Jim Miller's going to come out. I think he's going to starch him. That's just lingering in the back of my head. Damon Jackson's the taller fighter. Jim's going to be fucking throwing those uppercuts every single time he goes in. He has really nice knees. He's really, really good in the striking. The striking is his tip-top department, and the level of Damon Jackson's striking is like a level 6 compared to Jim Miller's a fucking 10, okay? So it's a little bit tough of a fight. Jim Miller as an underdog will be bet from my perspective. Obviously, it's an underdog that shouldn't exist, seeing as these guys are so close. Should be a pick'em. Arguably should be in favor of Jim Miller. I understand the 41 years of age, but take into account the power still stays the same. You've seen it happen time and time again. Jim Miller is still a fucking threat. Bro's got gray beard, and he's still taking dudes out with one punch, and he's still choking dudes out with face cranks and guillotines and everything, and his guillotine's nasty. Don't be surprised if Damon Jackson gets a little bit too cocky with the takedown when he's getting tagged up on the feet, and Jim Miller throws up a guillotine and ends it. It can happen. Trust me. Damon Jackson, when he gets tagged, man, he starts panicking. Go watch the Ilya Topuria fight. The first 60 seconds, he starts panicking. Go watch the Stipe Miocic fight. I believe in the second round, he starts panicking. Billy Q, that Dan Ige fight where he gets clipped, he starts panicking really fucking quick when he gets tagged big on the feet. And when he feels Jim's power, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. Next on the prelims, we have Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. We're going Eric Anders. I hate Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman should not have won that last fight. Should be losing 3 in a row. His leg is clearly compromised. His speed's clearly compromised because of it. He has no cardio anymore. After two rounds, he looks completely gassed. Eric Anders is just going to fucking just beat the shit out of him. I think he's going to outbox him. I think we're going to be up on the feet all day. Chris Weidman looks like a shell of himself from when he was in his prime, and he's not even close. Eric Anders, minus 170, looks good to me. I really like it a lot. I mean, plus 140 for Chris Weidman's a little bit fucking wide to me. I don't understand how you can even take that. Losing to Brad Tavares is fucking pathetic. Losing to Bruno Silva is pathetic. I understand it doesn't say it's a loss, but it's a loss. I poked the shit out of him about 50 fucking times, and if that's how you're going to win the fight, you're not going to win that fight like this against Eric Anders. It's just not going to happen. He has better boxing. He's faster. He's 37 years of age. He's always been faster. Jamie Pickett win. He was able to grapple him. He was able to beat the shit out of him. And Chris Weidman's not getting another win on his resume. It's so disrespectful that he's even on this card. He doesn't deserve to be there. He did not beat Bruno Silva. And I don't care what you have to say about it because it's true. Go watch that fight back. It should have been at least 3 points fucking deducted. Next, top of the prelims, Jonathan Martinez versus Marcus McGee. I'm going Marcus McGee. Jonathan Martinez last time around a little bit starstruck against Jose Aldo. Didn't really do anything. Jose Aldo outpicked him probably 3 rounds to nothing. Fighting Marcus McGee, who has a lot of power. A lot of power, a lot of stand-up ability. Jonathan Martinez, very good kickboxer. Marcus McGee gets kicked in the legs a couple times. He's going to have a little bit of a problem. But I think Marcus McGee is going to force the pressure, going to keep Jonathan Martinez on the back foot, keep him away from that power side, keep him away from the leg kicks, and keep him forced up against the cage where he's going to have to use his slick boxing in order to get out of the way of a Marcus McGee who's constantly able to cut off the cage and constantly able to follow you around. Jonathan Martinez is in for a tough night. He is a very, very, very good kickboxer. He's one of the few guys that has multiple leg kick TKOs inside the UFC. Took out Cub Swanson, took out Adrian Yanez, who, again, Adrian Yanez is very good. Took him out in, I believe, the second round with the leg kicks after that first round was fucking terrible to watch. Yeah. Under 1.5 rounds hitting that fight too. Marcus McGee just has a lot of power, and it's really hard for me to pick against him, seeing as he had so many fucking fights in such a short period of time after so many knockouts and finishes that you can't disrespect this guy's power. You can't disrespect this guy's finishing ability. You have to just say, I believe you're going to win. And that's just kind of what it is. Jonathan Martinez is going to have to take him out quick. I think he's more of a guy who likes to take guys out into the longer, deeper waters, and Marcus McGee is going to be fucking just throwing everything at him just to start. So I'd like to see what Jonathan Martinez has. I think Marcus McGee is going to take him over, though. Minus 120. I'll take it. Especially, it's all finishes. This guy doesn't go 3 rounds. Under 1.5 rounds is probably good. Under 2.5 rounds is probably even better if you're looking at the betting side. Next, we're going to go into the main card. Mauricio Rufy versus James Lion-Top. We're going Rufy. Can't pick against the fighting nerds at this point unless it's Denise, or not Denise. What's her fucking name? I can't remember the girl's name. Rufy's just significantly better than the stand-up. He's going to knock the shit out of him. It's not going to be long. The Jamie Malarkey, again, that wins a little bit scuffed because Jamie Malarkey's a little bit on the downfall right now. He's having a tough time inside the UFC. He's only able to beat kind of the journeyman and the top 50 guys. As soon as he gets to like top 20, he starts having big problems. And the Ramon Magodayev fight, again, another dude that's like kind of like, He was able to beat Impa Kasanganay, but like, still, that was a little bit of a scuff fight too. But Rufy, his boxing's super fucking clean. He takes his time, and when he gets you hurt, he is a little bit overconfident with his striking. He does leave himself a little bit open, but James is just like, you got choked up by Chris Padilla, bro. Like, you lost to Borishev after he kind of gave you the fight. It's tough for me to pick you after that. It's really tough because Borishev should have lost that fight probably, and Rufy just gave the last round to him. So whatever. We're gonna go on next. Again, Mauricio Rufy under 1.5 rounds is probably your lock. Next on the main card, we have Karine Silva versus Vivian Araujo, and we're going Karine Silva, who's going to out-grapple Vivian Araujo and most likely submit her. You see two Brazilians who are incredible in their own respect, but Vivian Araujo a little bit older, 37 years of age, going to be 38 by the time this fight happens, and you have Karine Silva, who's younger, again, younger fighters usually win when they're 6+ years of age. It's 67% of the time, I believe it is. She is that. Beat up Irene Lipsky, Ketlin Souza, Nibar, Botello, terrible fighter, but submission. Kuyan, another submission inside. Like, they're good wins. When I always complain about these big favorites not getting finishes on the people who they should get finishes on, Korean Silva is the opposite of that. She gets finishes on everyone that she should get finishes on, and she decisions everyone that she should decision. She's an incredible fighter. She's been showing all aspects of her grappling, showing her sweeps, showing her submission threat, showing her transitions, and you're seeing it's just so much bigger of a threat than Viviane Araújo even fucking. She's not even close to that type of threat. Not even fucking close. And it's similar grappling to Alexa Grasso, where it's like overwhelming, and Korean Silva is just going to overwhelm her. The 94% on Tapology should tell you everything you need to know. Plus 225 is fucking insane. It should be like plus 500 at this point. Korean Silva should be able to maul Viviane Araújo and get her next spot up to number 8 or number 7 inside the 125 rankings at flyweight. She's really, really good. She's going to fight for the title. It's a matter of when. And at flyweight right now, you have Shevchenko at the top. You have Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva is probably a fantastic fight for her next. Alexa Grasso is a fantastic fight for her next. Fucking Macy Barber is a fantastic fight for her next. I think Manafiro is going to get her next title shot. But anyway, we're going to move on. Next on the main card, Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. I'm barely going to open this. Bo Nickel's going to fucking maul him. Paul Craig maybe can submit a Bo Nickel who gets into later stages of the fight and isn't able to show off as much as he'd like to. But Bo Nickel, I believe in his wrestling ability. I think Paul Craig's just going to be on his ass the whole time. I think he's going to get knocked out, seeing as he's shown that he's a little bit chinny. He got caught with a couple short shots from Caio Borralho, and they didn't even look that powerful, and he was already rocked, and then Caio hit him with a fucking tank of a shot and put him down. It's just, he's been getting knocked out more and more recently. Got knocked out by fucking hammer fist by Johnny Walker whenever he got his leg caught from a leg kick. Paul Craig caught his leg during a leg kick and then got hammer fisted out. Bo Nichols just looks like shit, to be honest, against Cody Brundage. Took a little bit too long, in my opinion, to submit him. I thought he was going to get him in the first round or early in the second round. I believe it took later into the second round. Yeah, 338. A little bit scuffed. Probably going to go a decision at this point, but I think he might be able to knock out Paul Craig. I don't think he's going to get a submission on Paul Craig. It's pretty impossible to do that. But I do think that Bo Nickel's going to be able to put on at least something. It's tough for me to pick Paul Craig. Plus 700 makes sense. Like 36 years of age, slowing down at this point, a little bit chinny. Grappling's still there. Grappling threat's still there. Submission threat's still there. It's Bo Nickel's time. They're giving him this fight for a reason. They're trying to pad his record so that he gets up. He's trying to earn experience, bro. And this is big experience for him. Paul Craig, fantastic submission threat. It's just old, kind of on the downfall, kind of on his way out. We're going to go co-main event of the evening. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure to drop a like if you haven't already. Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Michael Chandler 2. We're going Charles Oliveira. It's tough, though, because Michael Chandler was winning the fight to start. He was outboxing Charles Oliveira. He definitely has been putting work in for the last 2 years. Again, he's been waiting for fucking Conor McGregor. But Charles Oliveira did basically out-grapple Arman Tazoukian. Did have him in a super deep guillotine inside that first round. Almost ended that fucking fight early. Anyone else would have tapped, including Michael Chandler. So I think DuBronx still incredible threat at lightweight. I really want him to touch the title just one more time, just have a little bit of sniff at it, seeing as he did lose it due to Justin Gaethje fight and losing because of the weight miss. Did get choked out by Islam for the belt. Understandable. Arm triangle. Super quick tap too, because Islam's pressure is that heavy. But I think DuBronx is going to be able to get this win done, get Michael Chandler out of this stupid fucking decision of choosing to wait so long. Michael Chandler's going to be out of the rankings at this point, or at number 15. And you're going to see DuBronx finally get that repeat victory, and we're going to see him go on another title run. I just think Oliveira's submission threat's too much for Michael Chandler. I think the fact that Charles Oliveira is almost on par with Michael Chandler's boxing whenever he's done with that fucking round one blitz that he does, I just think that Michael Chandler has a bit of a problem, seeing as he does not have the same MMA skill that Charles Oliveira has. Charles Oliveira is way better in terms of skill. It's just Michael Chandler's explosiveness is where he gets his edge from. I just think Charles Oliveira is going to be able to overpower him inside round 2 and just beat up a Chandler who gets gassed after a first round. We're going to the main event of the evening. John Bones Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic literally fucking had a full-time... He had a 24-hour shift not even 2 weeks ago. We're going John Bones Jones. Jones is going to fucking just wreck the shit out of him. Like, I don't know how... Like... It's like rigged at this point. Like, it's just like you're giving him a free win. Jones doesn't even deserve this fight. He deserves to fight fucking Aspinall and have a real fight. I respect John. I do think he's probably the greatest of all time. It's just you're beating up an old man, bro. You're 37 years of age beating up a fucking 42-year-old who's the greatest heavyweight of all time who hasn't fought in fucking 4 years. And the last time he was out, he got slumped cold by one of the biggest fucking heavyweights I've ever seen in my life. Who has the power of actual cars. Like... It's wild. Like, I don't know how this is even a fight. John's probably going to submit him inside the round 1 after he hurts him. The over-under is 1.5 rounds. Under 1.5 rounds being plus 120. I like the over, probably. I like seeing Stipe get a little bit further into the fight, but it's just like... If Stipe wins this, bro, I'll be so happy. Like... But I love John, man. It's tough. This is a tough fight for me because I want John to win, but I also don't think... Like, this is so stupid, bro. This is dumb. This is a dumb fucking fight. This is a stupid fucking fight. This is genuinely a stupid fight. You're seeing, like, one of the dumbest fucking fights you've ever seen in your life. This is literally the dumbest trilogy... Or, not trilogy, but, like, legacy fight you've ever seen. It's a young lion taking out a fucking alpha. Like, what the fuck is this? Like... Stipe is the greatest of all time in heavyweight. He will be that even after this. John Jones will not take that away from him. It's just... I don't know what... This is just... I would have rather see John retire, to be honest. I don't think I need to see this fight. I don't think I want to see this fight. I guess we're gonna see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys on Thursday for the best bets because I think I will do them this week because the last 2 weeks have been a little bit rough. And I will see you guys Saturday for the live stream of UFC 309 John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. I'll talk to you guys all later. Peace.